For nearly a month, investigators searching for Nancy Guthrie have been telling the public the same thing. They are still looking for her, still following leads, still hoping to bring her home alive. But behind the scenes, something very different may already be happening. Because just days ago, investigators quietly sent officers into the Arizona desert with specialized technology, not to search for Nancy alive, but to search for a body. And what they were looking for out there might change how this entire case is understood. Today we're diving into one of the most important updates yet in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. This is now more than 30 days of the investigation, and new information suggests that authorities may be pursuing two very different missions at the same time. One to rescue Nancy, and another to recover her. According to law enforcement sources connected to the investigation, the Pima County Sheriff's Department recently sent a partner agency on a very specific assignment. Officers were given cell tower coordinates. They were told to travel into the desert in a neighboring county, and they were instructed to bring a device known as a signal sniffer. Their mission: search that exact location for any sign of Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker signal. Investigators believed that the signal might lead them directly to her. But when officers arrived at the remote desert location and began searching, they found nothing. No signal, no trace of Nancy, and no evidence that she had ever been there. Which raises the biggest question in the case right now. Why were investigators so confident that they needed to search that exact location? To understand why this search matters so much, you need to understand the technology investigators are using. Nancy Guthrie has a pacemaker, and modern pacemakers constantly send out wireless signals. Think of it almost like a Bluetooth beacon. The device regularly broadcasts a digital signal looking to reconnect with the patient's monitoring devices. Investigators are using a piece of technology called a signal sniffer that can detect that signal. If Nancy's pacemaker is still nearby, even if it's underground, even if she's no longer alive, that device could potentially locate it. And here's the shocking part. According to experts familiar with the technology, a pacemaker battery can continue transmitting signals for years, which means the device could eventually reveal Nancy's location, even if it takes months or longer. At the same time, another detail in the case has quietly changed how investigators may be looking at the suspect. Earlier in the investigation, police released surveillance images showing a masked individual outside Nancy's home. At first, many assumed this was the night of the abduction. But investigators later confirmed something crucial. The images were taken on 2 different days, which means the suspect may have been watching Nancy's house before the crime. In criminal investigations, that changes everything, because it suggests the offender wasn't acting impulsively. Instead, this may have been a planned stalking situation. Someone who studied the house, someone who learned Nancy's routine, and someone who waited for the perfect moment to strike. The emotional moment for the family. 5:47:10. While investigators continue searching, the emotional toll on the Guthrie family is becoming more visible. For the first time since the disappearance, Nancy's daughters came down their driveway to visit the growing memorial outside their home. Neighbors and strangers have been leaving yellow flowers and messages for weeks. But until now, the family had not approached the memorial publicly. When they finally did, it was heartbreaking. Nancy's daughters placed their own flowers at the site and left behind a handwritten card. The message read, "Mom, we miss you so much. Our hearts are broken. We are standing on ash and scorched earth. But even in this darkness, our love burns bright." It's one of the first moments where the family seem to acknowledge a possibility that no one wants to say out loud, that Nancy may not be coming home. Meanwhile, investigators are still analyzing one of the most mysterious clues in the case. A neighbor living 2.5 miles away from Nancy's home captured something unusual on a Ring camera. At 2:36 in the morning, a vehicle drove past the house. The timing is critical, because investigators believe Nancy's pacemaker disconnected from her devices just 8 minutes earlier, which means that vehicle may have been leaving the area shortly after the abduction. The car moved quickly through a dark back road, a route that could allow someone to avoid major intersections and traffic cameras. Some observers believe the vehicle may be a Kia Soul, but investigators have not publicly confirmed the make or model. And so far, they have not issued a public request asking people to look for that vehicle, which could mean one of two things. Either they've already ruled it out, or they are quietly investigating it behind the scenes. Another dramatic moment in the investigation involved a man named Luke Dolly. Police pulled Dolly over while he was driving his silver Range Rover. He was detained, handcuffed, and questioned by investigators. At the same time, officers searched his home for 6 hours. They seized his vehicle and his phone. For a moment, it looked like investigators might have found a major suspect. But then something surprising happened. After processing the vehicle and testing it for evidence, police returned the Range Rover to him, which strongly suggests investigators did not find anything linking him to the crime. And Dolly continues to deny any involvement. As the investigation enters week 5, the structure of the search is beginning to change. According to reports, the case is now being handled by a task force made up of homicide detectives and FBI agents. Large-scale search efforts are being scaled down, and resources are shifting toward a smaller team focused on specific leads. In missing person cases, this moment often marks a turning point. The investigation moves away from wide searches and focuses on building a case or finding a body. Right now, investigators may be working two parallel paths. One hoping that Nancy Guthrie is still alive somewhere, and another preparing for the possibility that she is. The failed desert search raises a chilling question. Someone or something led investigators to believe Nancy might be there. But so far, whatever happened to her after she disappeared that night remains one of the biggest mysteries in Arizona. And until investigators reveal what led them to that desert location, this case is far from over. If you want more updates as this investigation unfolds, make sure you subscribe, because we'll continue breaking down every new lead in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. And as always, let me know in the comments what you think really happened that night.